You're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
So I was about to make this video on Andre Ward knocking out Paul Smith in the 9th round and what's in Andre Ward's future. So I went to my iPad to free up some space and delete some old files, some old videos that I did. And I almost deleted a video that I just did last week that I completely forgot about, which is the story of Golovkin ripping or shredding Andre Ward, but at the same time making excuses why he still doesn't want to fight Andre Ward. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this video because, like I said, I started the video. It was about 15 minutes, and I didn't finish the video. I was going to come back later and finish it, but I got busy covering all the, Broner Porter stuff, and I completely forgot about the video. So like I said, it's an unfinished video, but I'm going to go ahead and upload it. Check it out, guys. Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So today I went to boxingscene.com and seen an interesting headline that read, Golovkin shreds Andre Ward. Quote, why are you talking shit? Now, usually I would read everything that was said in the interview, or at least a big chunk of it. But now, because I'm pressed for time, I'm just going to sum it up and then we're going to talk about it. So basically, Andre Ward, he just pretty much says what he's been saying since day one, since Golovkin has become this big star that he is. Andre Ward, he keeps saying, you can't claim to be this type of monster with the level of opposition that you are facing, right? Andre Ward will go on basically talking about the many excuses that Team Golovkin has come up with on why they don't want to face Andre Ward. Excuses like Golovkin planning on moving up to 168 and not wanting to fight the best fighter in the world at 168. This is what Andre Ward is talking about, right? Now, once again, I'll put the link in the description box and you guys can go ahead and read the entire interview. But then Gennady Golovkin, he comes back and pretty much, once again, I'm just summing this up, right? So, I'm not going word for word. But Golovkin, he starts saying stuff like Andre Ward doesn't remember the time that HBO asked him about the fight and I said yes and he said no because of his promoter or his shoulder and so on and so forth. Then he goes into fan mode and he starts saying nobody wants to watch Andre Ward. To me, he's just a dead man and don't worry about the level of opposition that I face. And then he said something that I thought was kind of ridiculous. He said, yeah, you got lucky in the Super 6 tournament. You were lucky enough that you were in a tournament, where you were contracted to fight certain fighters, etc., etc. So basically, to put everything in microcosm, Andre Ward wants to fight Golovkin. Golovkin does not want to fight Andre Ward. It's so much to talk about when it comes to this topic, I don't even know where to start. But I think I'm going to start with this. When I first read the headline of this article, Golovkin shreds Andre Ward, I truly thought Golovkin was about to just go balls to the wall and say, you know what, forget it. I'm tired of this man talking stuff. I want to show him and I want to show the world that I'm the best fighter, pound for pound, at least top 3 in the world, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this challenge whenever you're ready, Andre Ward. I thought that's what Golovkin was going to say, but it was the contrary, as it always is when it comes to Golovkin versus Andre Ward. Too often in the sport of boxing, the matador is often chasing the bull, right? Guillermo Rigondeaux, who is the highest paid boxer at the bantamweight division, is chasing the bull, Leo Santa Cruz. I mean, I can give you guys case after case after case, but I think you get the point. But another case I will bring up, which is not so much of bull versus matador, but it's just a situation that is very similar to this one. I remember when Tim Bradley was calling out Juan Manuel Marquez. Now, this was right after Tim Bradley beat Manny Pacquiao in the first fight, right? After that fight, Tim Bradley, he calls out Marquez. Now, when Tim Bradley calls out Marquez, Nacho Beristain, Marquez's trainer, he comes out of nowhere and completely shoots down the idea of a Bradley versus Marquez fight. He said, "Oh no, Bradley is boring. Nobody wants to watch that fight. We want, the fans want to see Marquez fight a Mexican warrior," or he just said a warrior or something like that. But the point that he was making is nobody wants to see that fight. Nobody wants to watch Tim Bradley. The fight would be boring, right? And I remember making a video about that. And I was telling people, before, of course, way before the fight took place, I said, look, guys, Nacho is a boxing technical sweet science type of trainer. So in other words, skill, recognize skill. Nacho Beristain is the same man that called Floyd Mayweather the Michael Jordan of the sport, saying he's simply the best. This is a guy that recognizes special talent and a skill set that is on a whole nother level, right? Because once again, Nacho Beristain is a very unique Mexican trainer, if I could put it that way, because he's teaching the sweet science. You can almost say he has an American style of teaching, right? It's funny, real quick too, off the subject. I remember I was interviewing him for the Gary Russell versus Johnny Gonzalez fight. And honestly, it sounded like Nacho, even though he was picking Johnny Gonzalez, if you listen to the interview, it sounded like he was almost picking Gary Russell to win the fight. He just kept saying over and over, oh man, this is a very, very difficult fight with the type of speed that Gary Russell has, the slickness, the fact that he's a southpaw. It sounded like deep down he thought that Gary Russell was going to win the fight, right? So I'm telling you guys all of this because I go back to what started the conversation with Nacho. Remember what I said? Nacho Beristain said he did not want his charge, Marquez, to fight Tim Bradley because he claimed Bradley was boring, nobody wanted to watch it, so on and so forth. Okay, now in the video that I did, I said Nacho is only saying these things because deep down, skill recognizes skill. Nacho recognizes the skill set that Tim Bradley has. And he believes deep down that Bradley would be a tougher opponent than Manny Pacquiao was for Marquez, right? This is what I said in this video. And in that video, I predicted that if they ever fought, Bradley would beat Marquez. Because Bradley can do many more different things than Manny Pacquiao can do. Manny Pacquiao, he relies a lot on his left hand and he relies on his speed. But Manny Pacquiao cannot adjust the way a Tim Bradley can adjust. Once again, you have to look at styles. Styles make fights. When I made this video, speaking of styles, I got a lot of Marquez fans. Oh, they were heated. They were, man, they sent, I probably received more racist messages. Matter of fact, since I'm talking about this, I probably received more racist messages from Marquez fans and more racist messages from Victor Ortiz fans when Victor Ortiz quit against Josito Lopez. I received more racist messages in those two videos alone from the Marquez and Ortiz fans than probably 30 videos that I've done. Okay? But in those videos, outside of them, sending me racist messages, they also kept using the triangle theory. They would say, Dante, How can Bradley beat Marquez if Pacquiao beat Bradley and Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao? Triangle theory, right? Once again, styles make fights. And I know I'm kind of getting off the subject with Andre Ward versus Gennady Golovkin. But you know what, I was going to go even further in this, but let's just stop right there and let me just say this. Long story short, Marquez ended up fighting Tim Bradley. And when they end up fighting, matter of fact, before they fought, leading up to the fight, Marquez ended up saying exactly what I had said in the video that I just told you guys about. Marquez said Bradley is going to be more difficult than Manny Pacquiao because he can do many more things in the ring. He can fight on the inside, he can box, he can do this, he can do that, right? And unfortunately for Marquez, he was right. It was a much more difficult fight than the Manny Pacquiao fight was. And Bradley, as we all know, ended up beating the legendary Juan Manuel Marquez. So how does all of what I just said tie right back into the Golovkin versus Ward situation? Well, I'll tell you. Remember what Nacho said. Nacho said he didn't want to watch the fight. He said it was boring. Nobody wants to watch Tim Bradley, right? Well, guys, this is exactly what Golovkin is saying about Andre Ward. Exactly. Nobody wants to watch you and this and that and all this kind of stuff. Now, what's ironic is Golovkin goes from saying, remember when they asked if I wanted to fight and I said yes, and you said no, and so on and so forth. Now, regardless if that's talk or not, let's just, for conversation's sake, let's say things actually happen that way, right? Golovkin is trying to basically say, they offered me to fight. I said yes. You weren't ready. You didn't want the fight at the time. So now I'm not going to fight you at all. Or I'm going to fight you. I'm going to wait to the end of my career when I have nothing to lose. Then I'll fight you. That's pretty much what Golovkin is saying now. But what's interesting about Golovkin saying that is Golovkin has also been waiting for Miguel Cotto to get in the ring with him. But he hasn't lost his patience when it comes to Miguel Cotto. Canelo just said, or Canelo's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, he said we'll be ready for that fight in 2 years. Canelo versus Golovkin. And even after all of that stuff that Golovkin heard, Golovkin still showed up at Miguel Cotto's last fight. What does that tell you? That tells you that if Golovkin wants something, he will remain persistent. Isn't that what it tells you? So that kind of blows the I said yes and he said no excuse out of the water. Because we know that Andre Ward wants to fight. We know that, right? There could be no denying that. No one is even denying that. And we know that right now, unfortunately, Golovkin doesn't want the Ward fight. Think about this for a second. The only fighter that probably, let's be realistic about this, that most likely has a good, I would say, 85% chance to beat Golovkin. That's where I'll put it at 85%. Andre Ward is the only fighter that has an 85% chance of beating Golovkin. 85 or better chance of beating Gennady Golovkin. The only fighter that has that type of chance of beating Gennady Golovkin is coincidentally the fighter that Golovkin doesn't want to fight. That is coincidentally the fighter that fans don't want Golovkin to fight. Do you guys really think this is just a fucking coincidence? Come on now. Come on. The best fighter that Golovkin has ever been in the ring with that's actually better than Golovkin is the only fighter fans don't want him to face? We know what time it is. And then Golovkin says nobody wants to watch Ward, so on and so forth. etc., etc., etc. Right? But see, once Golovkin got in the ring with Willie Monroe, once he got in the ring with Adama, matter of fact, that guy is so much of a no-name, I don't even remember his full name. That's why I only call him Adama. When he got in the ring with Adama, Willie Monroe, Marco Antonio Rubio, that destroyed your excuse of nobody wants to watch Andre Ward. Truth be told, guys, and I would put up the graphic, but it's somewhere in my photo gallery, and I don't even know exactly where it is. But if you Google, go back to the year that Andre Ward was fighting Chad Dawson and when he was fighting the Edwin Rodriguez's. You go back to that year, and it'll probably surprise you to find out that Andre Ward was doing better TV ratings than Golovkin was.